Okay, step two. So far we've done the data logging with the robot actually hooked up to the computer. And that's all well and good, but if we're going to send our robot to Mars or the bottom of the ocean, we're going to need a pretty long cord to do that. So let's have another way of actually retrieving the data from our robot. So now I've downloaded this program. Let's go ahead and we can minimize this. And this is our simple program that we're working with right now. It's called AR Datalog. I've downloaded this onto my robot. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect my robot, and I'm going to run this once with the robot disconnected. Alright, I've disconnected the robot. Now I press the orange button to run AR data, and I've got an object that I'm moving back and forth in front of my ultrasonic sensor just to give us something a little bit more interesting to look at than a straight line. And 10 seconds should be up right about now. So now what do I do? I've got the data on my robot. Now I have to be able to bring that back onto the computer. So the first step is to hook the wire back up. So go ahead and hook the wire back up onto your computer. Now I want to show you this button right up here. This looks kind of like a decoration, but this is actually a button that opens up that other window. So go ahead and click that button, and we're back to this graph. And we can go ahead and delete all of these lines here by going up to this X, and we can select the lines and we can delete them, get rid of them so we have a clean slate. So we've deleted the lines using this X. If they won't delete, you can try clicking on them and selecting them and then pressing the X. So now we need to go to File. We want to import data. So this right here shows us what's connected to my computer, and I have an NXT connected to my computer right here. And once I click on the NXT, then I've got these files that are actually on the robot. Now most of these are from previous trials, but the most recent one, and you can identify the most recent by the one that has the highest number next to it. The most recent one is the one that we haven't seen yet. Gives you a little preview of it, and it imports it. It's okay to overwrite it if we need to. Go ahead and overwrite it, and here is our data. And we want to learn a little bit more about what this data actually is. So when the line is all the way up at the top, right, there are a couple points here where it's all the way up at the top, that means that the ultrasonic sensor is beyond its range. It does not detect anything within 2.5 meters of it, 255 centimeters. Then down here where you have these nice smooth curves, this is representing where there's an object close to the sensor, maybe about 25 centimeters, and then it moves slowly away, and then it loses range. Now these ultrasonic sensors are not great, and you may think that you have an object in front of it and it just doesn't see it. And if it doesn't see it, it's going to look like this sharp curve right here. Now it caught a glimpse of it right here. This is saying that, oh, I saw something real quick, but most of the time it actually didn't see it during this period. Then over here it got another good look at it as it came closer, and lost it again at the end. Alright, now let's pair up the data logging with the movement of the robot. So we'll go ahead and I just want to delete this line right here. So we'll select that line, delete it, and let's toggle back using this button back to our NXTG interface. And let's go ahead and delete this one, and we'll start fresh. Well, the first thing let's do, let's have the motors move. And we're going to need to set the rotors to unlimited. So we have the motors moving unlimited. Once the motors are started to move, we want to start data logging. Now we've got to configure our data logging program, and let's go ahead, let's just do a 6-second one to start. I want you to uncheck this wait for completion, because what the wait for completion will do is it will actually hold the robot on this block until that 6-second data collection is done. But we want it to just keep on doing the next thing. So what we want to do is we want to put a wait block in here. We want to wait for a certain amount of time. Let's set it for 3 seconds. Now this way we can have the robot for half of our 6-second data log. Remember, we're logging for 6 seconds, and we need to remember to set that to the ultrasonic sensor on port 4. Port 4 ultrasonic sensor, set it to centimeters. We're logging for 6 seconds. Half that time we're going to have it going forward. Then let's go ahead and turn it around, have it come backwards. Set it to unlimited, and we want it to wait for time, wait for 3 seconds. Now, there is more than one way to get this task accomplished, and there are other combinations of blocks that you could choose, but I just want you to go ahead with these. This is pretty straightforward, and this is just one way. It's not the only way though. Now here with the stop data logging, we're going to want to stop. Well, we have it set for my data. Let's go ahead, as long as we're here, let's change this to, let's call it for back, because it's going forward and back. And then over here we need to change this to forward and back. Then let's go ahead and stop our motors. Alright, so there we have it. We have this simple program here. This is go forward. Alright, this block right here will start data logging. This block right here will wait 3 seconds. This is go backwards. This is wait 3 seconds. This is stop data logging, and this is stop motors. Alright, so that's an outline of our basic program here. Let's download that and see what kind of data we have. Download it to our computer, and then you'll set it up about a little more than a meter away from a flat wall, like a surface. This is something that might come up for you. The NXT device is out of memory, so we go to Manage Files. We can just delete them all. Alright, that'll give us plenty of space on here. So we'll close this. Now we'll try downloading. It should compile and download. So you'll put the robot in front of a flat surface, and then run the robot, and let's bring the robot back and we'll take a look at the data. Alright, so I have just paused the video and I went ahead and I ran this program. Let's go ahead and see what kind of data we have. So we'll go to this button up here to toggle back to the data logging window, and yours might not be open, or it may be, but you just want to go to File, and you can go to Import. Select the NXT. Now, if back on this menu, you could also choose Open and do the same thing that I'm doing right now. So I'm going to, let's just go ahead and open it. Go to NXT, and we've got one file there because we just cleared the memory. Look at that graph, and we will go ahead and open that up. There we go. There's our graph. This is what happens when we set it. I set it about 110 centimeters away. Moved towards the wall. Got to about 25 centimeters from the wall, and then went back away about to the same spot where it started. Alright, what I want you to do now is I want you to write a program and see if you can, first of all, I want you to come up with a shape in mind that you want your graph to be. So right now our graph looks kind of like this. let's say you wanted to have one that looks a little bit different. Let's say you want one that looks like this. Get some mountain peaks there. See if you can go ahead and program your robot to get a shape that looks like this on your graph. Then show me once you have that shape.